Yes, sir. We are back live, Radio Free Brooklyn. You already know what it is, man. It's the best in the world, Ben Lewis, alongside Addy the Baddie. And we got a very special guest in the building, the host of the Lethal List podcast. We got Slim in the building.
Slim goodies.
There you go. Born Star.
Born Star. Look at me
Come on now.
Listening. You might actually be one of the good guys.
Hey, come on now. I'll play one on TV.
Okay.
All right, man. But it's time for our trending topics. Everything going down in the culture. We like to, take some of the hottest topics and we like to discuss it here on this program. Mm-hmm. Okay. We got Slim joining us. So the first one, man, a high school girl files a lawsuit for having to raise boys who identify as girls. Now, this has been an ongoing thing, an ongoing issue when it comes to women's sports.
Correct.
Because obviously we know transgender is becoming more and more common. More and more boys at a younger age are making the transition to become women, to become girls. And so they are looking to compete as girls when it comes to sports. Now, a lot of people have issue with this, especially women who have issue with this, because there are certain attributes that men are born with that makes them naturally stronger, naturally faster, naturally just more athletic than women. And so when a guy, someone who is born a man, born a boy, is trying to transition into to become a woman and he's competing with other women, it gives you a little bit of a competitive advantage, at least in in my eyes.
So in this situation, we pulled an article from, what's her name? So, what's this girl's name?
This is Selena.
From Bloomfield.
Yes, high school in Bloomfield, Connecticut.
She wasn't able to qualify for the 55-meter event in New England Regionals because 2 spots were taken by biological boys, as the Daily Signal's Kelsey Bowler documented in a recent video report on the 16-year-old situation. She's far from the only female athlete disadvantaged by policies that allow transgender girls to compete with biological girls. Selena told Carlson on Tucker Carlson Tonight, "I haven't been the only one affected by this," she said. "There have been countless other females in the state of Connecticut, as well as my entire indoor track team. We missed out on winning the state open championship because of the team that the transgender athlete was on." So, just to kind of go back to your question, and this is off of, I don't know what type of website this is.
Do you guys feel like at some point we're going to get to a place where, like, as far as athletics go, there's going to be a lane for simply trans people? Because it is getting kind of messy in that way, where it's like there is somewhat of an unfair advantage. Like, we can't deny that. Yeah. Like, physically, men are stronger, right? So, like, I remember speaking with someone before about like the I guess hormonal pills that they may take that actually might down some of the masculine attributes that they have, right? But all in all, I feel like scientifically you still are kind of male, so you might have still some dominant attributes that would allow you to be quicker or stronger than your female-born counterparts. So I feel like it might get to a place where we might just have to create like a mixed lane where not necessarily a trans competition, but where it is just both male and female that can compete, and that way it will be a little bit more of a fair competition for any trans person versus having someone be trans and compete with said female or vice versa, where now it's like an unfair kind of competition. I think that might be a place that we might end up going.
Right. I mean, this is something that we haven't, I don't know what your experience is, but I think we're old enough to maybe not have had to deal with this as much back when we were in school. And so this is definitely like just a new topic. One that I've actually thought of before. Because I've never had an issue as far as like the whole bathroom situation.
Right.
I'm not afraid of like transgender men. I'm
afraid of straight men. Okay.
Come on now.
Men are not good people. Unquote. K. Michelle. I did not say that. K. Michelle.
Men are not good people.
I'm starting to feel like this wasn't a good idea.
But and so in every other area, I think her too. In every other area, I mean, I like. Do you go off? But in this particular area of competition, I think it works differently. Like maybe like with transgender a man decides to join a male sport, then it's less of that because it's like, all right, well, at your will, if you want to compete with men who are also biologically male, and that's something that is your decision to do so, even knowing that like you may also have some maybe like because you weren't biologically male,
their testosterone,
and then that also could be a little tricky too.
Yeah,
but But in this case, this is just kind of like, I don't know the science. I personally don't know the science behind it enough to honestly like really make a real point as far as like what can and cannot happen. But at least as far as like, I just researched that like the person who's born biologically male has 7 to 8 times the testosterone as a female. And so like that is like you said earlier, Ben, just on average, of course, there could be a faster woman than there is a man, but on average, like the fastest man is faster than the fastest woman. Right. And that just has to do with our, biological makeup and all of that. And by that, I mean, and when I say woman and man, I mean male and female biologically. Just to clarify. So, I mean, but I see kind of both sides on this case. And honestly, it kind of scares me. And I don't know if we're prepared to have this conversation because I don't want this conversation to be about like bashing transgender people.
Triggering anyone.
I don't want that to be about that. But like also like, where is there space within, like you said, these sports and like, what is like, I like that you came with the idea.
Because it's like, what is the best remedy? Some people might feel like, the space now, like as far as women competitors alone, it's already a hard world for us as far as just anything, right? Rap game, anything. We're already like fighting our way to the top in the first place. So now when you get someone that's trans now, it makes the spectrum bigger and it makes it like more competitive, that much more competitive for us at least. And so I think being that this world that we're in now is so fresh, I think the start of it is to create something that is more inclusive for them, but not necessarily stepping on the toes of people that have been doing this. And then not necessarily sex wise, but just in general, like I feel like no one wants to feel like I've been working my whole life for this number one position and now here comes someone that, may not be what you were expecting more or less. And then like now all your dreams are shattered in a sense. Yeah. And it's a little bit unfair, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't even know really how to feel about this thing because like, you identify as a woman, but like, again, like you have some genetic advantages over other women when it comes to, especially in the field of athletics. And yes, there are women who, they're blessed genetically. We talking about like the Serena Williams, you know what I'm saying? Like,
there's this female basketball player that they swore was like a male.
There was a track athlete, Caster Semenya, who.
It was also a basketball player. I remember they was like swore she was like biologically a male.
So there is the rare like women who are like such like superior like dominant like they could dominate.
That's tough luck.
Like they could just dominate any man. Like Serena, I feel like could be anybody in tennis. Like man, female.
She's the most decorated athlete, and I need people to give her credit where it's due. She's
absolutely,
like
absolutely. But for the most part, like men are superior like athletes to women, and so when you talk about men who want to identify as women and they are in transition, but they still have the genetic makeup of a man and they're out here competing in sports, it's going to lead to an unfair disadvantage. And now that's like a gray area when it comes to transgender men and women. That's like a gray area because we don't necessarily know how to react to that and we don't necessarily know how to deal with that. So I feel like it's going to be a lot more issues to come with that. Before we get to like a solution that we all can agree on.
I agree. This is an ongoing conversation. I think that this is not something that we're going to solve here, but I do think it is something to consider.
Unpopular opinion though. I do have to push back a little bit.
Don't get yourself canceled.
I'm not. I think with any revolution, right, you have to take baby steps. And what I notice sometimes with the LGBTQ community is sometimes the baby steps are missing in certain things and it's almost a forceful like we belong, that's just period. And although it's commendable because as a black woman I get it, I think everything is also still in due time. Like I remember Rico, shout out to my engineer, he said something that was interesting to me where he was saying like just not too long ago, say like racism was illegal. Right? So like certain things were just not necessarily taboo, but we just weren't programmed to think the way that everyone else is thinking.
Right.
And so it's a lot of unlearning to do. And it's baby steps. You know what I'm saying? And it's not that you're not getting progress. Like, they've been getting more of their rights than black people now for nothing, which has also been like a fight between the communities in a sense, like feeling like, okay, well, they get more than what black people are even fighting for. But that's why I feel like baby steps. Like, not that everything isn't for you, but timing is important as well. So.
Yeah, and I think there's like differences too within the LGBT community, as far as like there's different subgroups that get more things than others. So there's like, the white gay men are getting a lot.
And that's it, because because they are their biggest backing. That's why they get so much in the first place. You know what I'm saying?
I was actually talking to a white gay man just yesterday. I was out in Washington State, and he was so dope because he was like,
Addy be getting flued out. You know what I'm saying?
He was like, white gay men are problematic, and he said, and that's why I fuck with anybody who could be that person and be like, like
waiting for black men to do that
because we're white. He was like, that's what I'm waiting for.
Y'all want me to leave the room?
That's what I'm waiting for too. Because then that's all I need.
I had to jab
at the very least. And he was like, we're problematic. We don't see other issues besides the ones that are immediate to us. And there's other. He's like, there's more immediate issues than just like getting the right to get married, like like black, transgender, and people of color that are also transgender are getting murdered at crazy rates, oftentimes by other people of straight men of color, specifically black men are murdering transgender people, and so like all of that is really scary, and I take it very seriously. So I know that within the LGBT community, there's I think sometimes that kind of like frustration of like, why don't you just get it, has a lot to do with that urgency of like the death that comes behind it too.
Gotcha.
And so but I understand too, as a straight person who's definitely problematic within my straightness, I feel the same way too, that sometimes I'm like, okay, I don't understand everything. Like, let's
Can we take it back a little bit? Allow me to breathe and
but I
come revisit this.
Right, and I can understand completely why you would deem me as problematic from your perspective. But in all honesty, there's certain things that I just don't know. But I'm definitely not one of those people to be. The minute I hear something that makes sense, I'm like, we out here.
Right.
Boom.
I'm willing to learn. Like, I'm willing to learn.
I'm not arguing with nothing. Like, I just want to know. That's all I want. Yeah. But there's a lot of people who kind of claim they do, and then they don't really want to. They want to use that information to make fun of people. They want to use that information to make people feel badly. And when you think about it at the core, like, I actually have quite a few transgender friends that I actually met over the past 2-3 years who've been kind of keeping me on to what's going on. And they're like, one of the common misconceptions is that I just woke up and chose to just be a woman. Like, why the fuck would I do that? Like, why would I want to put myself through the
that
worst?
Type of, like,
why would I want
to
put a target on my back? Like, the way that they're dying at crazy rates, it's just like, you have to understand that, like, when people choose to do this, or like when people make a decision to actually be who they were meant to be, that it's not, it's not to spite anybody else. It's not because they want to experience oppression. Like, you have to think, like, the way I think is like, man, you could have just sat there and just continued to live your life, but it's like, obviously it was killing you inside to not be who you were. And I think that I could relate to. So I think the other stuff though, as far as like, some of these technical things with sports, I'm like, maybe we should throw sports away.
Right. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Right, watch all the straight men. Hold up.
I literally would have nothing to watch on TV.
Right, exactly. Well, shit.
I just think they maybe, the best start, in my opinion, is to create something that is just inclusive for like male, women, trans, not necessarily
right. That's a great, but is that a form of like segregation, or is that a form of like?
I think that's creating the space for who needs the space created for. There are some male and female straight people that don't mind matching up against each other. Like, I heard you was the best. Well, I'm the best here. Well, let's see. And I think that would be a great space for them as well. But like I said, you have straight female, or not necessarily straight, but you have female players, and I'm particularly talking about them because women are already, kind of, we have our foot on our neck and we always have to prove ourselves and overprove. So I feel like with us, it's just kind of like, let us at least try to get to our win. Because like, look at women's basketball. It doesn't even make half the numbers that male basketball makes. And I don't think a trans person in it is going to necessarily change the numbers.
I watched the WNBA game the other night by accident.
Oh, by accident.
Trash.
Are you contributing to their cause? Like,
I feel like we all got to do better with supporting.
Yeah, like damn, can we support
sports?
them a little bit more? What's his name? Dennis Rodman was actually saying he really likes women's basketball.
Dennis Rodman is he's the truth. I watched.
And he also said he wasn't gay, which I don't believe, but whatever, right?
Really, I actually believe him.
He said he never.
I feel like after all this time,
I don't think you can put any type of label on Dennis Rodman.
I thought he was very fluid. Okay, he said he's never experienced with the male, so
really?
let him talk.
See, the reason why I believe him is I was shocked too, but I was like, I feel like he's just so open about everything that it's hard for me to believe he's lying. But it's Hollywood.
He was on the Breakfast Club, so
yeah,
there's sometimes
he
some
had no
hesitation.
idea who any of them was.
Honestly,
I watched that and he was like, "Who are you?" Like he said, "Who are you?" To
he didn't know.
He didn't know who Charlamagne the guy was. He's like, "Who are you?" Like,
what bubble was he living in?
He's too busy in North Korea,
right?
Turning up with Kim Jong Un.
Oh man,
like that man is really. I would love to. That's somebody I would love to have dinner with, just to
Dennis?
See the things to understand.
Man, that man got some stories, man.
Yeah,
For real.
All right, let's move
on. Donald Trump is officially up for impeachment, y'all. Ooh. Granted, I personally don't believe that this is going to lead to anything. But
can I lay down the foundation?
Oh yes, do your thing. Okay. Do your thing.
So basically, the reason why Trump is up for impeachment that has to do with his conversation that he had over the White House phone, the White House phone, with the president of the Ukraine. He had congratulated the recent president of the Ukraine for winning, basically being an underdog and coming out on top in his victory to become president. And basically started a conversation. It was a short conversation, but it was just like, the U.S. has been really great to you, and other countries that claim to be allies to you haven't been so great to you. So like, I just need you to understand that. And the Ukraine president was kissing his ass like, oh, wow, you called me. This is the second time you've called me. And I really appreciate that. And like just being like a little
groupie.
So it was really sad to watch in the beginning. But then he was just kind of like, okay, so yeah, we're looking into some of this situation with Joe Biden's son. They were basically
he has an obsession with Joe Biden and his son.
Because
it's really ridiculous.
He's his competitor for the upcoming.
Right, he knows Joe Biden is his biggest threat.
He's been coming at Joe Biden.
Yeah. So he was like, if you can look into that, I guess. Whatever the issue is that I guess the source of it is in the Ukraine. He's like, if you can like basically leverage your resources within the Ukraine to look into like what is going on with that situation, because we've been so good to you. Like, let me know if you can do that. And he was like, oh yeah, definitely. I'll put you in contact. And then he was like, I'll put you in contact with Rudy Giuliani and the Attorney General, and they'll be able to talk to you about all of these going on. So I was like, okay. And then by the end of the conversation, he was like, well, he was basically implying, he didn't say I will give you this, but he's like, the Ukraine will be great. Like things will go very good for the Ukraine as long as we continue to work together and be on the same page. So he's
always had allies in association with Russia, though. I feel like finally they're able to prove it. But like, come on, like,
right?
What else do we need to be able to impeach Trump? Exactly. I don't feel like they really want to. They want to see the circus continue, and like just let the man finish his 4 years at this point, because he's done enough damage. Like, I mean, what are you going to impeach him like 2 weeks before he?
That's what I'm saying.
Like what?
Yeah.
At best, I think they just should make sure he just doesn't get reelected.
Right.
But I mean, that's like, come on.
That's the goal.
Right. That's my thing too. I feel like Democrats need to find a very solid candidate that could win the Democratic
we haven't
vote.
They don't have any.
Right. And put everything behind that person to help like get Trump out of office, because at this point, it's almost like it's about to be November. It's October. We're gonna blink. It's gonna be November.
Yeah.
So in almost exactly 1 year's time, we're gonna vote for another president. And like, unless something drastic happens, unfortunately, I believe that Trump is gonna win in 2020.
Yeah, me too.
That I don't know how y'all feel about that, but I feel like we need to get as strong as a Democratic candidate as possible. And the Democratic Party needs to put everything behind that person and make sure that they get elected. Because at this point, I don't think impeachment like is gonna do anything.
It's not.
No, because then we'll have Mike Pence.
Right.
And now that's what I was gonna say. I don't even think that Trump will be reelected. I just think there might be another Republican in the House, though, because right now they're on a hot streak and they have someone like Trump that's being loud in front of them.
They have the majority seats in the House.
And they like Mike
right
Pence.
Right.
The white folks love him because he has a lot more poise than Trump.
Yeah.
And so they would be happy. And I know deep in my soul that Trump has something on Mike Pence. Everybody else in his cabinet has this. Everybody else is gone. And you mean to tell me the person who's second to him has not left? That man has had something on him since day one.
Yeah.
So I already
he was partying with
He's
Epstein.
in his pocket.
You know what I'm saying? He was
partying.
He's in his pocket.
Yeah, he was on that island with Epstein with them little girls, man.
Oh, Lord. We're not going. I don't need the U.S. government at my door.
No. All right. Well, we hope he gets impeached. So let's move on. Jennifer Lopez and Shakira are headlining the Super Bowl, and Uncle Luke is not happy.
Snore. Over it already.
All right,
I don't like Super Bowl halftime shows anyway, because I feel like it's a little bit too much. I'd rather just watch football. Like, I just want the regular halftime show.
Meathead.
Yeah, call it what you want. But I just prefer the regular halftime show where they give you highlights from the first half and they give you some stats.
Yeah, I
and
never watched
some
that.
I
other
like
stuff.
the cute little performance.
I honestly don't watch.
It doesn't have to be
show.
an hour performance, but I do like a cute little performance. But what I don't, I'm sorry, it's J-Lo.
Well, after that shit that J-Lo did for the Motown,
that's really what the fuck triggered me though.
I did not like that.
That triggered
personally.
the hell
I like J-Lo,
out of me.
but I did not like that.
what the hell is J-Lo doing a Motown tribute? Like what the hell was that about? Okay,
that's really why I don't want to see it. That's what triggered me. Like, I would rather see Shakira do her little comeback, little hips and all that.
That's what I'm
like,
saying.
Yeah, referring to Shakira as the other girl,
right?
Including Uncle Luke. He's like J-Lo and the other girl.
That's what he said. The other girl.
He said the other girl.
No, but this selection has not come without backlash. Of course. The Super Bowl is gonna take place in Miami, and of course we know Miami is one of those like staple.
Culture.
Yeah, the culture in Miami, like Miami is one of those staple areas in hip hop, right?
Sure is.
Where there's a lot of artists that come out of Miami, and most notably, we got Uncle Luke, man. He's from Miami. He's had some. He's probably had one of the biggest records of all time. You know, as far as hip hop goes. Hey, there you go. No, but he has an issue with this because we saw that the Super Bowl was in Atlanta last year, and we saw Jermaine Dupri. Jermaine Dupri made sure that a lot of the artists from Georgia, from Atlanta, that they were that they were represented. Like they got to do shows, they got to do appearances, they got to do bookings and everything like that. But to have a Super Bowl halftime show, which is arguably one of the biggest stages in all of entertainment, right? And you're doing it in Miami, and you have a show, and you don't have a single artist from Miami involved.
Do you think they were just trying to go with the Latin flair of Miami?
Well, that's what. And
it was such a basic interpretation.
Right, exactly. That's what white folks think Miami's
black
about.
people too, because it's like J-Lo again. She plays that fine line, like kind of addressing earlier, where she just plays that. All right, I can be Jenny from the block today, but then I can also be, I don't know, Maria.
Exactly.
But like,
I could also be Jenny from the suburbs tomorrow.
Right, exactly.
And I think that us as black women have every right to be frustrated with that ability to do that.
Yeah,
because we don't have the choice. And so it's just kind of like when people who like that, who do have the choice, take up so much space within the limited spaces that we have. Yeah, I think that becomes like an issue. Now, I don't have necessarily a problem with J-Lo performing, but I do think they should, to Uncle Luke's point, should have had at least somebody else in like a Trina. Come on.
Yeah, somebody. I
need them to put respect on some Trina's name.
Trina, you know what? Rick Ross, Uncle Luke.
Yeah.
Like, he has one of the biggest records in hip hop. Like, why not have
it? I mean,
Florida hasn't come out. I don't actually like, I really don't like Florida.
Niggerish. They're not trying to make it niggerish.
I don't like his music, to be honest.
Right, but Florida does make.
Definitely. He was the biggest name. Even if they would have went the Latin route, who else? What's the guy? That does music with Flo Rida?
Pitbull.
Yeah,
Pitbull.
He would have been perfect. He runs Miami.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you wanted to go hip hop and safe, Flo Rida makes probably one of the safest.
I don't think they were trying to go hip hop. That's the thing.
Right.
They weren't trying to go hip hop.
You gotta respect his career.
But this ties back to Jay signing that deal a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it does.
It's like, yo, Jay-Z, you signed this deal, and you giving us J-Lo and Shakira?
I would definitely say that now has shown us what the direction is.
Right, like you gave us J-Lo and Shakira?
Yeah.
Bro,
because
really?
now him aligning himself with the NFL on top, like first of all, it being a bad, I don't want to qualify as a bad decision, but a decision that
questionable decision that now has been answered.
Right, exactly. Already a questionable decision.
Yeah.
Now, no matter what, maybe I'm sure he had absolutely no say on who got selected, to be honest. But now everything is going to be associated with him because they said his role is to choose the entertainment.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, actually, no, he probably did have say on this. Because
he most
was just
likely
at
has
J-Lo's
say
house
on
having
this. That's his
dinner
realm.
with J-Lo and A-Rod, and they were all having a good time. So I'm sure he did have some say in it, and probably came up with the idea that would work for the two of them. But is he the voice of the Black community? Like, and like, I don't know.
And like what frustrates me oftentimes too with the Latin community, and when you see a J-Lo now become this head of whatever, sometimes to me it looks like, okay, when Black people are now making progress, it was kind of like, oh my God, I forgot what the comedian was, Geoffrey.
Yeah.
He was saying like, that's when you see the rest of the minorities, quote unquote, bandwagon our movements. Like, Beyonce did Coachella. That was groundbreaking, right? So now here goes J-Lo and Shakira, and it's like you always see them now trying to like, oh wait, we gotta catch up, hold on, because the niggas is making moves, and it's that's what annoys me.
I want them to step up too.
Yeah,
I want to hear their voices politically making moves and
not echo us.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying? Like, stop echoing us. I would rather you guys, if that's the case, then like, can we get one of you guys to be president already? Like, do your own thing. Like, but it's always echoing what we're doing, and then somehow what we do gets dismissed. Yeah, and that frustrates the shit out of me. So I don't care about no damn Shakira and J-Lo.
Yeah, I don't really care about. Honestly, I don't personally care about the halftime show at all.
I mean, I don't think either one of y'all is probably gonna watch the Super Bowl. Huh?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I just don't care. I don't watch NFL. I don't watch, but I'm with Cap, and it's easy for me to be with Cap. I never watched the NFL, so I'm not even gonna sit here and say I'm a social justice warrior.
Well, I'm gonna say this.
Watched it, so I'm not gonna start, especially because he told he's not with it. So I'm
gonna stand pat with my decision. The year Cap got kicked out the league, my favorite team won the Super Bowl. So I'm sorry, Cap, but I'm gonna keep watching football.
All right? You're one of those.
Yes, I am.
At least you're consistent.
Shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles, 2017 Super Bowl champions. The year Cap was kicked out the league. All right, and I was in Philadelphia celebrating with my team. God damn it, myself.
He has this delusions of grandeur that he's really part of this team.
What are you talking about?
You're not a part of the team.
What you mean?
You can't sit with them.
What you mean?
All right, we're gonna move on.
I partied with them when they won, so I don't understand. I booked my hotel 2 weeks before they even played in the Super Bowl. That's how sure I was that year.
Yeah, well,
I was in danger.
Hopefully, one of them notices you next year.
You might meet J-Lo.
If y'all listening, because apparently, Burna Boy was listening to our last show, and he decided to actually cop one of Just Basi's.
Facts.
One of our last guests, he designed these different Nikes.
We're a little bit of a big deal.
I'm not gonna take credit for. He did and watch the interview. That boy got him to wear his sneakers. But we're gonna go ahead and take credit for it because we have it on camera that we said, hey,
exactly.
Burna Boy purchased this man's sneakers.
My man Kevin captured historic.
We have it.
Historic
Shout
moment.
Out to Kev.
Okay. Shout out to Kevin, man. Shout out to Kevin, man. He's the best.
I'm stealing you, Kevin.
He's on contract. So relax.
The contract says he has to say nice things about Ben.
Right.
At least once a week. All right, next topic. Lizzo's song just became the #1 rap song.
Yes.
What, Truth Hurts?
Yeah.
Yes.
It took a while. Mm-hmm. It really took a while.
Yeah. She's been hustling for a very long time. Mm-hmm. But also she dethroned Iggy Azalea.
Yes, with Fancy, right?
Yeah. So Fancy
and Iggy Azalea fans were not happy with
fans.
Yes.
She's
right. That's why I'm like, she was the #1 what?
She has fans.
I didn't know she was up there.
Iggy Azalea does have fans.
Everyone has fans.
Does she?
So everyone Monday marked the fifth week in a row that Lizzo's exuberant breakup anthem "Truth Hurts" landed at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart.
She deserves it.
Prompting the singer to rally her fans behind an important cause. Dethroning Iggy Azalea as the female rapper with the longest running #1 single. Lizzo took to Twitter to ask for support, retweeting the Billboard charts tweet announcing her #1 status for the 5th consecutive week. In all caps, she wrote, "Y'all, if we keep this up for 2 more weeks, Truth Hurts could be the longest female rap #1 of all time. Right now, it's Fancy. Can we do it?" She also shared a screenshot of the top 10 chart with the comment, "I am blessed." Of course, Iggy Azalea fans were not too thrilled about this as they spammed her comments and all that other stuff.
Like, really, where has Iggy been? Like, what she's just gonna, like, at some point her record's gonna be broke. It's not like she's making new music anyway.
But Lizzo also shaded Iggy and was kind of like, "Oh yeah, there was that song."
Right, because honestly, Fancy.
Like, there was that song Fancy by Charlie XCX. I think she was featured on it at one point, but she didn't mention Iggy's name in acknowledging that song. So Iggy was like, "I definitely was on that song," and I wrote that song.
My thing is, Liz.
All right, the shade room being again.
My thing is, Lizzo to me is a pop artist.
That was my point.
She's not like a hip hop artist. But I feel like when it comes to black artists leading in the charts, when it comes to a predominantly white genre, they're gonna put it as hip hop. We saw what they did with Lil Nas X. Like they didn't want it to be country
at all.
They put it as hip hop, and it's like that's not a hip hop record. That was a country record.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That was a country or a pop record. It definitely wasn't hip hop.
Yeah.
But yet
it damn sure wasn't.
So when it comes to like whenever a black artist makes a record that breaks through the glass ceiling and becomes number one and it's a white genre, they're gonna categorize it as hip hop so that they won't have a black artist on top of a predominantly white genre. And that's my only issue with this. It's like the record it's a great record. It's a great song. Obviously, I enjoy it. I don't know if you guys listen to it, how often y'all listen to it.
And then the remix with the baby.
Yeah, exactly. It's a great record. But the thing is, like, I feel like it's a pop record. I don't feel like it's a hip hop record.
I think that, like, if Taylor Swift did the similar song or did some type of version of this, it would 100% be pop. That's my argument as far as it, like, she should be Taylor Swift. That's what I think. But because the industry has rallied around Taylor Swift, they will not let Taylor Swift fail. They will pay for every album. They will stream every song. The whole. I don't know if she's a part of Atlantic, but maybe
she's America's sweetheart.
Everyone's streaming her shit at the same time. All 1,000 of employees across the world. I'm telling you, they will not let that woman fail. They will not let that woman fail. And I wish that type of energy, because this is a real pop star to me. Yeah, and I wish that type of energy was put behind her. But honestly, look at what she's doing by herself.
She's gonna be all right. But one argument that we do have on my show a lot is, what is hip hop now, right? Because there are so many lanes where it can sound like, when we talked about Nicki Minaj often, it's like, is she pop now then, or was before her retirement? Is she pop now, or is she still hip hop? Like, how do we identify hip hop now? Because it's transitioning into so many other lanes. But to me, sometimes the core sound is still hip hop. So I'm confused with what is hip hop right now.
Right,
to be honest.
That's fair. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I think there's a lot of mixing and bending of genres these days. Yeah. Particularly
which I'm
black
for,
folks.
though, because I feel like that allows us to break down doors in other spaces. But like you said, they kind of make it hard for us because they just kind of bump us down back to hip hop.
I just had a crazy connection between our conversation about transgender people and, like, men and female and, like, all that bit, like, kind of breaking down those barriers too. Like, just even thinking, like, how attached are we to, like, these titles that we kind of, like, come into in society, like you as a man, me as a woman, right? Like,
and now allowing that, us to
this whole new generation is challenging all of those.
It is
kind of like groups. So
it's a lot.
Yeah, interesting.
It's a lot transitioning.
Man, but shout out to Lizzo, man. She got a number one record.
She's amazing.
Shout out to Lizzo.
Whatever category they want to put it in, man. It's a number one record is a number one record.
Over 30 years old. That's another thing.
She's over.
She is over 30. She's like probably in her early 30s. But honestly, it's so dope to see.
She gives me hope.
I got 2 years to 30.
Listen, so I'm 30 now, so shit.
Girl, you look good. You back that ass up. Yes,
This is exactly what I had in mind.
30 is the new 20.
It is.
Come on. You look 21, girl.
Thank you. I'm amazing.
But you know what they say?
30 where?
You know what they say? Black don't crack unless you smoke it. You know what I'm saying?
But like, I first heard Lizzo's song in that movie that I think came out last year or something. But that's where I first heard her song. So like, I wasn't even really privy to Lizzo. So I know she's been grinding for a while, because when I heard of that song, I'm like, oh, she has albums and stuff. Like, and I just wasn't privy to her. But she's been working for a while. Like, this is well deserved. It's well deserved.
I'm proud of Lizzo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Shout
All right. We're gonna move on to our last topic for trending topics, man. We talking about exes. All right. Is it okay? Do you feel like it's all right to stay in contact with your ex? All right. Now, this is something I see women tend to do more than guys do.
Oh Lord.
I'm just saying.
Okay, we have to break this conversation up into when you're single / when you're in a relationship.
I don't think it's okay in either situation.
No, if you're single, you keep in contact with your
We did
exes.
not work out. Why are we staying in contact?
We don't have to work out. The sex did.
Yeah.
No.
That's how you
No.
you know what I'm saying?
We could what if we were always mad cool? We were friends. Like, what if we were friends forever?
Right.
And
not every
then-
breakup is a bad breakup, Ben.
Exactly. Not every,
What the fuck
not
is a good
everybody-
break?
Well,
Please
not
tell me what a
everybody's
good break.
relationship starts with
wait.
ma, you bad, you cute.
Yeah,
Let's be in a
and then-
relationship.
Wait.
Some people are friends end up in a relationship.
What is
How
it?
can they go back to being friends?
Please
And
tell
then
me
you
what a
go
good.
into-
Please tell me what a good breakup is. Please tell me.
Understanding you
Yeah.
leave, you depart from each other on mutual terms.
Yes.
That's a good
Let me give
breakup.
you an example. Based on our communication skills, the way that you
Right.
communicate doesn't make me feel validated. It doesn't make me
Yeah.
necessarily feel supported in this relationship. But I don't feel like it's something that you're doing maliciously. I think that's just how you are.
Yeah.
And maybe you can find somebody who that could work for, but it doesn't work for me. So I'm going to remove myself from the situation because I acknowledge that it's not conducive to the way that I want to live my life. And we can leave on good terms.
Yeah,
That's
or
fine.
it could be simply that now your career takes off, right? And you love this person, but right now just isn't the time. Sometimes timing is a part of why people break up and then probably revisit later. But you can't revisit if y'all broke up horribly because it's like, bitch, you ain't got time. Like what? Like relax. Like communication is key.
I don't understand why you need to if I break up
So
with
you're
somebody.
not cool with none of your exes? Stop it.
Nope.
Ben.
I swear to God, I'm not. If we broke up,
You're BM. You're not cool with.
my BM, I don't got no kids. What you talking
I
about?
don't know. I swear. I just made that up then. I made that
She was
up.
fishing for some answers. She was like, you got kids?
I was like, Haitian man, he has kids.
I don't got no kids that I know of. Nah, look, if I break up with somebody, it's like you ain't never existed, all right? I'm
Well,
not
he's a
talking to
Scorpio,
you.
so he
That's
doesn't think
the,
it's
What's that
different breed.
right. Like, what are you
Yeah.
mad at,
I don't
though?
need.
What's so, what
It's
is
not
it
mad.
weird
It's like
about?
we ain't work out. It's time to move on.
But like
Not
you can
everybody-
be friends and cordial.
No,
You
why?
should share something.
Why?
You shared something with that
There's
person. Or
literally-
the pillow talking your ass done did.
Well, because
Okay,
all
well-
let me have your relationships all ended in a positive way.
Right.
Like, I mean, because,
If it's how is it positive
Well,
if it's ending?
well, no, because it
you're
can end on a
emotional.
positive way.
I'm not. First
He's
of all,
emotional.
Yeah, Scorpios are
Yeah.
water signs.
Emotional?
How
And they're water
emotional?
signs that get away with it because they're like real, like fuck, like Drake, for example.
Yeah,
What you
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
First of all,
Y'all are
all
in
hail King
in
Drake.
your
Don't talk
bag,
about King
like,
Scorpio
in
like
your
that.
whole ass
Okay.
Birkin. Like, y'all be in your bag.
Don't talk about
heavy.
King Scorpio like that.
Oh,
Then
Lord.
Drake. Okay.
Like, y'all are so emotional.
Who's?
Super.
I'm not
So
emotional.
unreasonable
What are you
to
talking
me.
about?
So
Why do we need to
unreasonable.
stay in contact if
Well,
it
because
did
if
not
things,
work
if
out?
things
Cool.
end catastrophically, then yes,
Right.
remove yourself. But things don't have to end catastrophically.
Exactly.
And I don't think Scorpios understand that.
Have fun
Scorpios
with your life.
have this
I'll
really
see
all or
you on the
nothing
flip
mentality.
side.
You know what it is? It sounds like you take the breakups personally. That's why I
What
said
you
you're
mean?
emotional.
You broke up with me. Of course,
Oh,
I'm gonna
that's
take
the
it
problem.
personal.
Let's get deeper
also,
here.
when
What's
you
going
break
on?
up with them, it doesn't. It's what?
So they broke up with you. Is that what happened?
I'm
You
just
heard?
saying, there's no. I don't believe
You
that
mad, K.
there's
Michelle?
any. I don't believe that there's any reason to stay in contact
Women
with
are
an
not good
ex.
people.
I can be
Ben?
cool with my exes.
You could be cool with your
can
ex
be cool with
and
my
have a new
exes.
guy and talk to them
Yes,
about
if
it.
we were friends, we can be cool. Like
No.
if we were friends before the
No.
relationship,
Yes.
then we should be friends after.
Yes.
Why?
Because
If we choose to.
right, if we
No.
choose to.
You know when the friendship ended?
The
When y'all
friendship
decided
is
to get into a relationship.
No.
We're not friends
No.
anymore.
Because the
We're
friendship
not.
is the lineage. Like,
No.
that
Part of
was,
it.
yeah,
It's part of
that's
it.
part of the growth
that's
into
part
the
of it.
relationship.
You know
and
what?
sometimes you figure out that
Yeah.
that person is better off as your friend.
Y'all,
versus
y'all playing, y'all
in a
playing right.
relationship.
You know what? And my thing about this topic is, it's always girls that feel like they need to stay in contact. Yes, it is.
What? You know,
No, it
these
isn't.
dudes have
Right.
like exes
Oh my
that like they
'Cause
need
they still-
to be my friend.
Because
Like
they still want to fuck them.
Let me tell
Straight up,
All
they
right,
still
well,
want to
then
fuck
That's
them.
part of it. I won't lie.
Yeah.
Where
So
maybe
why-
you still
Well,
want
I
to
think
smash.
that's usually men. to
It's
be
usually
honest,
men that's the
that
one to
have
smash.
the
So
But,
y'all
like,
just-
that's part of it.
Wait,
Like,
wait,
I
wait.
still- maybe I
and then
still
under
want
the
to
guise
smash.
of friendship.
So let me ask
Exactly.
y'all this. So y'all just want to stay friends with an ex. Y'all don't even want to. Y'all
I'm
don't
not
want to have
saying I
no
wanna-
type of relations with them. You just want to
every
stay
ex.
friends.
Exactly. I'm not
It's
saying
damn
this
sure
is
not
my
every
desire.
ex.
That's not my ideal friend.
Right.
What I'm saying is that if we were already friends before, or if we have a rapport where there was a mutual respect, and we just decided like Slim said, like for whatever mutual terms and agreements that it just didn't work out. Why the hell am I gonna ice you out or whatever? And like
Right.
maybe the level of friendship is gonna be
Bye.
different. Nah, the level.
Yo,
Here's the thing.
he's
Here's the thing, honestly, if I'm breaking up with you, then at a certain point, if I'm breaking up with you, then I'm actually going to have to cut you off because at least for a while, because it's like, if I'm breaking up with you, I can't discern between the friendship and the relationship, at least for quite a period of time. But if once I like move on and like kind of live my life and you live your life and whatnot, my mom is calling me.
You want me to plug the aux into the...
All right.
Talk to her on the airway.
Go, my mom.
Yo, I don't think there's any reason that exes need to be friends or stay in contact or cool. How is that insane? Yo, we did not work out. Go enjoy your life.
All right, so when you meet these relationships, you meet them on Tinder. Like, why is it so disconnected that you just can't see anything beyond that relationship with them?
What you mean? How is that a disconnect? Like, I don't understand.
Because it's like, what it sounds like, it's like, okay, you just met this person and it was just like on some whatever. And like, you guys are kind of dating or you dated or whatever. And like, once that path is done, then like you just cut it off. When in all actuality, if you have a friendship with someone, the friendship is what ultimately you fall back on.
No, the friendship ended when the day we decided to to go into a relationship. The friendship has ended. You know, me and you on a date right now, right? And then the relationship ends. We can't do radio together anymore. We can't be cordial. Exactly. We won't be able to co-host. No, you know why? I won't call you and say, "Hey, come to Lethal List Podcast." You know why? Because you won't even exist after we broke up. Okay, after we stopped,
man, with that energy, y'all scare me.
I'm not talking about like y'all went on a couple dates and y'all realized. I'm talking about the actual relationship.
That's even more reason to me be cordial with someone after the
fact. Why?
Because sometimes they know your deepest secret. They probably got all your nudes. Like, I want to be cool with you.
So why we need to be cool? I don't understand. Like, why we need to be cool?
No, that's why I said in the beginning of this conversation that I think it's the difference between like if I'm single versus I'm in a relationship. Out of respect for my relationship, I'm not necessarily going to be sitting here like fraternizing with an ex just out of respect. Right. Because it's just like, I understand that like you may not be able to see that where I'm at with this friendship with this person, and out of respect because it would be hard for you to quite understand that. I don't mind, keeping this person at a relationship,
right?
I'm not in a relationship at the moment, but like I did have an ex pull up on me last week. Oh, so I had an ex. Remember I messaged you.
Goddamn.
He was like,
aren't they great?
You said you love a stalker?
Yeah. I dated him.
Yeah, all y'all listening, y'all hear that?
Dated him in 2016.
Urban_classic with a Q. You know what I'm saying? All y'all stalkers out there, if y'all want to hit up Slim up.
Yo, why he put you out there like that?
I know. I have enough suckers. Damn, I was trying to grab new ones. I'm just saying, like, I appreciate the ones I have now.
So anyway, I dated this dude in 2016 for like a year. Goddamn. Yeah, but and I told him, I said, I literally was like, once you're gone, you'll never move on. And I looked him in the eye and he didn't. So
see, that's what it is. You catching him,
So he was like, he came up to my house. He was like, can we go for a walk? So we went for a walk for like 15, 20 minutes. He was like, I'm so happy to talk to you. Like, I've missed you. Like, you were so right. Like, I fucked up. I shouldn't have done this and that. I'm like, I know.
The resentment stage.
Yeah, and I'm like, the thing about me, once I'm actually done, I'm done. So he was like, can we be friends? Can we do this? Can we do that? And I'm like, sure. I actually told him, I said, I don't need friends. I said, but the fact that I don't hate you is like the reason, like he's the one ex that I would even entertain like that, because I'm like, I understood a lot of his issues to be so much of it was so personal. He had been in a situation where his ex or he used to be married, and his wife had actually cheated on him and had a baby.
So he had trust issues
with someone else. So he kind of like projected onto me the issues.
Right. He wasn't ready to be in that relationship with you.
He was not.
Right.
And so he kind of put me through a lot. But I recognized that even at the time as like, this is 100% your problem and not mine. And so I can take myself out of taking it personally. But at the same time, it's like, I don't need to be
You just didn't treat me right.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't treat me right. You're a good person. And that's what it is when I think when you can be friends with an ex. It's like I can be cool with him. Yeah, you're not for me, but we're cool. Like, yeah, because maybe you're a good person. Yeah. Although men aren't good people.
There we go. You see, wow, this is proof. Here we go.
So if men if men aren't good people, then why on God's green earth do you need to stay in contact with them after the relationship did not work out? Why? Why do you need to stay in contact with exes if we're not good people?
Well, because we didn't say all men.
It's some men working on being a good person. So
right, because it's like you guys it's like basically y'all are sick. Y'all enter.
That's what the women are for. We nurture you guys back to good people.
If the relationship did not work out, you don't exist. Like you might as well have never been born.
You're a
to me,
That's
You're a
crazy.
how is that crazy?
That's
You're a
insane.
snake.
How am I a snake?
You're Scorpio.
We broke up.
Right.
We are not together no more.
That's your animal sign.
So
is a
wait,
Scorpio.
what does that mean? Like, so
You know, my ex had to send me emails because that's how much I was ignoring her ass.
It was a toxic relationship, to
Right,
be
you
honest.
were
Your
hurt.
relationship
That's what
was
it's
toxic.
Who's hurt?
You
I'm
know,
just saying.
But you know what? Here's the thing.
Not
Maybe
everybody's meant to be in your life
Well,
forever.
well,
I'm
no,
cool
no,
with
no,
that.
no.
I'm
People
cool
are
with that.
seasonal.
you haven't had a healthy relationship yet. And I think until
Yeah.
you have one,
Damn.
then you
I
can't.
have
I think
healthy
the one-
relationships.
She caught you on
you
your
know, I
shit.
think that I've seen some of the situations you've been in that have been healthy.
Oh my god.
But
I am clutching
know,
my pearls.
one of the more recent
I have
ones
very
been
healthy.
One
I
of
have
the-
very healthy
One of the
relationships.
more
All right.
recent ones has been healthy.
I have
But-
very healthy relationships. All
But
right.
the one I know, one of your past breakups was extremely toxic, and it took you a while to understand that.
First of all,
Once
Addy,
it
you knew
comes-
me too goddamn long.
Yeah. But you know, when it's toxic, I understand your perspective from a toxic relationships perspective. Like things blow up catastrophically. This person does something crazy.
Yeah,
that
like why
it's
try
like,
to?
Yeah, it's like then your framework for what it means to break up is different because
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
typically breakups end up in a explosive way.
Yeah.
Where not all breakups end up that way, and that's honestly, I don't want that drama in my life.
Me
I
neither.
don't want that shit in my life.
So
if
why
you're gonna
have
cheat
them
on me,
around?
literally, if you literally
What do
in
you
the
mean?
middle-
How I have them
No,
around?
no.
Why?
Because that person
No.
may not be toxic.
Nah,
though. that might not be the
Exactly.
case in every
We
We
situation.
don't.
what she's
There's
saying.
literally millions of people walking this earth. I do not need to remain friends with you that I used to be in a relationship with. You know why? Because I could find someone else to be
What
very
if
good
she
friends
was
with.
a great friend to you, just not a girlfriend?
And the friendship ended when we decided to take it to that next level and be
if
intimate
in
with
that
one another.
relationship, she was a great friend to you.
Thank
but
you
not
for
a
your
great
time.
girlfriend.
I appreciate all that you've done for me.
Wow.
But you are
You
now
ain't got no
dead.
goddamn friends now, do
But
you?
I don't have friends.
He doesn't. That is
Your
true.
cutoff game is too strong.
Yeah.
Your scissors is
I
dulling
appreciate
out.
what you've
I
done
need
for
you
me,
to-
but you are officially
Nah.
dead to me.
Oh.
Here's
all right?
my thing. This is
Goodbye.
why I don't like toxic relationships. My thing is like I tell dudes I'm dealing with like the minute you feel like you about to cheat on me, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm telling you you about to put you about to hook up with this girl. Call me. Just give me a call.
Yeah,
Be like,
yeah.
hey, honestly,
Things aren't.
I'm a hoe and I can't.
Yeah.
Then we look. Okay, we on the same page.
Wow,
See,
why,
but
wait,
but that's
why,
for a woman that listens.
why,
right?
why am I
Yeah.
gonna
Because-
stop? Why am I gonna stop foreplay with this other girl to call
Well,
you?
you see, and that's the issue.
tell you.
That's the
Because
problem.
that's when
Oh,
things get
hey,
toxic.
hey,
That's
baby,
when we
I'm
can't be
finna
friends.
cheat on you,
If
so
have
it's
a
over.
friend for me and
Come
you're
on
like,
now.
look, I am a weak asshole.
Come on now. Yo, it happens so
Tell
fast.
me
I am
after,
weak.
like
Like,
confess
let me know.
after,
Let me know.
like what's
First of
going
all,
on.
y'all know the very tempting thing that is the black woman.
I don't
all right?
understand that.
So
Oh,
you
wow.
can't even
God.
blame a man. You know what I'm saying? For
Y'all
falling.
are tempted by goddamn
Exactly. Black men are
everything.
tempting us.
Y'all are tempted
Come on.
by all kinds of shit. Y'all
Exactly.
Are tempted.
Black
Y'all,
men are
y'all got
sexy,
eyes.
too.
Y'all got eyes. Y'all see the kind of women that be walking around here
But
with all
y'all
type
are
of curves.
Y'all are
and
tempted
y'all,
to fucking midgets. Y'all are tempted to goddamn anything
It
with
be
a
some
little
midget.
bit of
It be some
ass
midgets
and
with some
some
cheeks
lips.
though.
Y'all
Don't do
are-
that.
y'all
It be
are
some
tempted
midgets
to-
with some cheeks though. Don't do that.
But have
So-
you
Come on
seen
now.
black
I mean,
men
yeah.
like see a white girl walk by with no ass and put an ass on her?
Yeah.
Oh,
She got a little cake. She a little thick.
look at that.
That's what I'm saying. They are tempted by everything. Anything.
Your imagination is wild.
Yes, you guys.
First of all,
y'all
I have no
just-
eyes for the
wild.
white devil. Okay, that's.
So yeah, speak for yourself. There's not a lot of black men that are not tempted by other.
Furthermore,
species.
my parents are woke as hell, and I cannot
Like,
walk
high
into that
words
house
to people.
with no white woman.
Okay.
That's one
Amen.
thing that will not. Between my parents and my sisters,
Yeah.
I
you
can't
have-
bring
you
no
got-
white
he
girls.
has four black sisters.
Four black.
I appreciate
Sisters.
that,
You
and
know
I
what I'm
really
saying?
wish there were
Ain't
more
gonna work
black
out.
men raised that way. But
Yeah.
that's another topic for another day.
Yes,
Another
that is. But
All right. So to summarize,
yes, Ben is right. You don't need to be in contact
Oh,
with your
wow.
ex. That's what we got from here.
Ben
Is
is
that-
wrong radio
Can we all
today.
can we all
Two out of
agree on
three.
that?
2 out of 3 agree.
No,
Right.
2 out of 3.
Kevin, what do you
agree.
think? You see?
See?
Kevin?
Thank you, Kevin.
He's known her forever.
You couldn't have lot.
He's
No.
known her forever.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you how strong my cutoff game is.
Yeah.
Let me
Too strong.
let me tell you how strong my cutoff game is. Okay, my ex, right? I known her since I was like 15 years old. Okay, and we stopped fucking with each other at like 25. And I do not talk to this young lady at all.
That's cold.
How is that cold?
That's really cold.
I don't know you.
How did the relationship end, though?
That's true.
I
That
don't
also
know
matters.
you.
But how did the relationship
Who?
end?
I don't know. What Keke Palmer said? I don't know this man. Okay? He could walk past me in the street. I don't know this man. Okay? I don't know you. It's
All
like
right.
you never existed.
In summation, don't trust us. Don't date a Scorpio.
Right. Don't date a
Don't do
Scorpio because you will not.
Oh, now y'all
dating
trying to make it
a
seem like
Scorpio.
now y'all trying to make it seem like I'm hurt.
It's
Now-
I mean, it's some pain inside.
Oh, so I'm the one that's hurt, huh? You know what? We're gonna end the show 20 minutes early today.
Nah, we not.
Hair and Our Rachel C's up next, everybody. You know what I'm saying?
We gotta go blow this whistle.
Right.
All right, next section.
We're gonna take a
we're gonna
take a
quick
quick
break. All
quick
right.
break. We're gonna be right
We'll
back,
breeze through the
man.
rest of
I have
these.
to pee.
We got more coming up on Ben Talks, man. We got Slim, host of Lethalist Podcast, in the building, holding it down with us.
Slim.
This has been Trending Topics, man. We'll be right back. Coming up right now. Hold It by Keys Man Go. Let's get it.